water soon. And you know what it can cost for one section of dock, right? You look at some of those cottages that have 10, 20, 30 sections of dock. That's a pretty big investment that's out there unprotected in the water. What does a cottage owner need to know when it comes to their insurance coverage and how it may or may not apply to their dock?
I thought you were going to end at what does a cottage owner need to know? I didn't think you were going to the insurance side. I was going to say my cell phone number because
Sorry. Yeah,
I
good.
like the Michigan weekends at the lake. Absolutely. Well, yeah. I mean, and I think you used the proverbial you earlier because I don't know what a dock costs. I don't have the luxury of sitting on those things, drinking a beer on a holiday weekend, and watching all the boaters go by. But I know the people that do have spent, gosh, sometimes a fortune on those things.
Mhm.
And it's really kind of a gray area when it comes to how home insurance applies to it. Uh, and there's really two different ways that insurance can apply. One,
Okay.
that dock can be considered personal property, just like your couch or your dining room table or the clothing that you're wearing. Uh,
Okay.
the other is that it could be considered other structures, like a detached garage or your shed or maybe that outdoor kitchen that you have.
Okay.
So insurance companies are going to treat it one of those two ways. And it's
Which one
actually
is
very
better?
it depends on what happened to that dock.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's really going to depend on how the insurance company treats that and what the damage was caused by. And then there's also going to be a little bit of variance in how that claim is actually paid.
Hmm.
So, for example, Brian, if that dock is picked up by wind and whipped halfway across the lake, does it
Seen it?
matter if it was considered personal property or other structures for if coverage applies?
No, should not. Coverage should apply if it's wind damage.
Okay, got it. What about if a boat splits it in half at night? You had some boat that maybe had one too many adult pops and didn't realize the dock was right there and they destroy a whole section of it. Does it matter if it's other structures or personal property?
Yes, I would think that should be covered as other structures because boat, vehicle, anything like that running into it would be covered. For personal property coverage, it would not unless you had the upgraded style of personal property coverage. That'd be my take on it.
Interesting. What
Yes.
about if you're having the whole family over for uh, the 4th of July and you maybe have a mother that's from farmland in Midland, so it's a pretty big family and they're all getting on the dock for a family photo. And that thing collapses, right? Not because anyone's extra heavy, but because you've just got so many people on there.
Yeah, sure.
Covered as other structures, covered
Yes.
as personal property.
Yes, I would think so.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, what
Yep.
about you've got that thing stored? You took it apart at the end of the season. It's in a bunch of different sections. It's stored in the pole barn that's at your property,
Okay.
and there's a fire or a tornado that takes down that pole barn, and that entire dock section is destroyed. Covered as other structures and personal
Yes.
property.
Yes, either way.
Okay, okay, got it.
Yep.
Cool,
Yep.
interesting. Now, if it was covered as personal property, so those various scenarios where you said that would be covered as personal property, is the policy going to pay to replace that dock with a brand new one, or is it going to pay the
Yes.
depreciated value of it?
Should be replacement cost.
Okay, it's going to replace it brand new. Now, in those
Yes.
instances where you said it's probably going to be considered other structures in order for coverage to apply, is it going to be paid based on replacement cost, meaning they're going to pay for a brand new dock, or they're going to pay depreciated value, or what we call
Appreciate
actual
it.
cash value here in the nerdy
Yes.
insurance world? Okay, so if
That
my
one.
dock is
Nerdy.
30 years old and it's splitting and it looks like it's time to probably replace it, it doesn't have a whole lot of value at that point, right?
Correct. Agreed.
Okay. Well,
Yep.
well,
Yep.
what
I know.
if there's a big windstorm, but the wind doesn't actually cause the damage to my dock? I'm on, let's say, West Bay up in Traverse City. And I'm fortunate enough to be in an area where I can put a dock in, but we get one of those really big storms and huge waves beat it up and actually take it away. And next thing you know, it's 3 miles down the shore, never to be seen again.
No good.
Covered as other structures or personal property?
No, no good either way.
Okay, okay.
Yep.
This is interesting.
Yep.
This is quite confusing. I'm glad that I started this off with saying it's kind of a gray area in the insurance world.
It's
It certainly is.
it's gray and it's confusing. There are two
Okay,
takeaways from all of this, right?
okay.
One of them, which you just brought up, don't install your dock too close to the water line. Because if you have big waves coming through, whether they're from a surf boat or a big storm, if you have waves that dislodge your dock and do damage, no coverage no matter what. No section of the policy is going to apply.
Mm.
And what the second suggestion, add special personal property coverage to your policy. It's inexpensive and it expands
Get
the type of
special
things
personal property in your policy.
expands the type of things that are going to be covered for your personal property. So if your insurance company considers your dock to be personal property, not an other structure, that's going to expand the type of claims that are going to be paid. So install it with clear uh, distance between the dock and the water line
Oh, the
so
wake
that you're
boats.
not going to have.
Okay, you sound like my father-in-law, the fisherman. Doesn't hates the wake boats, hates the jet skis.
There we go.
Water's
All
for
right.
fishing.
Well, if you have any questions about how your dock is covered or how the insurance applies at your cottage, if you need new eyes